Good morning, students. Hope all of you are doing well. Today, I'm going to start that third part of the chapter atmospheric pressure, upthrust, and its measurement by using a Archimedes principle. Okay. So the third part of this chapter is the flotation. So these things, you have some idea about that when the object or when the body will float and when it will sink. That information you already learned from class 8. So how the relative density is depends on that, and when we compare the density with whatever is liquid over there, if that is greater than or less than, so what time it will float and what time it will sink, those information we know. But one things here we learn, so when the body is immersed in a liquid, there two forces act on it, means on that body two forces is acting on that body. The first of all, the force is the weight. So weight is a type of force that acts due to gravity. So that weight W, so we can use the capital W to denote to identify weight. So the weight W of body acting vertically downwards, through the center of gravity G of the body. So you know that the acceleration due to gravity, actually that gravitational force, actually whatever it is actually that whenever you throw any object to the up towards upwards, if you throw it up, so it always falls down because of the gravitational force. And you see here the weight W of body acting vertically downwards. So that weight, because F is equal to mg, so m is the mass of the body and g is the acceleration due to gravity. And because of the acceleration due to gravity is that acting downwards, so that's why you see this picture that W is acting downwards and through the center of gravity. So center of gravity is here, G of the body, center of gravity, and this force has a tendency to sink because this force is acting downwards. So whenever you put that whenever you take any body and you try to when the body is immersed in a liquid, that force is always has a tendency to sink the body. But what is the upthrust? So upthrust is acting vertically outward. So actually the upthrust is acting the opposite direction of that acceleration due to gravity, means the gravitational force. Okay. So the upthrust Fv of the liquid acting So the upthrust Fb of the liquid acting vertically upwards through the center of buoyancy B, that is the center of gravity of the displaced liquid. So the upthrust or buoyant force is equal in magnitude to the weight of the liquid displaced. So this force has a tendency to make the body float. So because you see in this picture that this is a body, and how that weight is acting downwards direction is vertically downward direction, and the buoyancy force, or you can say it is a upthrust, so Fb is acting upward direction. Okay. And how it is and it is that Fb is means the upthrust or buoyant force is equal in magnitude of the weight of the liquid displaced. So this force has a tendency, so Fb has a tendency to make the body float, and but W means the weight of the body is a tendency to sink the body. Okay. So now is the in magnitude W equals to volume of body into density of body into G, and the Fb means the upthrust force, this is the volume of submerged part of body, density of liquid into G. So you see here, so volume of the body into this density of body. So what is this actually? So density equals to mass per unit volume. So if you write these things here, so the W W is it is actually the weight. So weight we know equals to, it is equals to mg. So m is the mass of the body and g is the acceleration due to gravity. But you see in magnitude, the W equals to volume of body into density of body. So we know that density equals to mass per unit volume. So instead of mass, you write down density into volume of the body. So simple these things is have written over here. So W equals to volume of body multiplied by density of body multiply G. G here is the acceleration due to gravity. And Fv, that volume of submerged part of body into density of liquid into G. So obviously the upthrust Fb is maximum when the body is completely immersed inside the liquid. So when the Fb will be maximum, so when the body is completely immersed inside the liquid, so that time the upthrust will be maximum. Depending upon whether the maximum upthrust Fp dash is less than, equal to or greater than the weight W, the body will either sink or float in liquid. So how these two force, because whenever the body is immersed in a liquid, the two force is acting over on the body, and when the body will sink and float, because you see that weight that has a tendency to sink the body and in a liquid and has a tendency to sink the body, but you see the upthrust or Bowen force that is has a tendency to float the body, so, to make the body float. So now is that our thing important part is the when the body will sink and when the body will float. Okay, so these things is important. So here you see that, so we consider the following three cases. So W, we know that this is a weight and it is acting vertically downwards direction, and Fv means the bound force or upthrust that's acting vertically upward direction. So when the W is greater than Fb dash, so Fb dash is maximum. So when the upthrust Fb is maximum, that is denoted by Fb dash. When the body is completely immersed in the liquid, so you see that W is greater than Fb dash, or W is equals to Fb dash, and W is less than Fb dash. So three cases are here. So here we will see that when the body will sink and when the body will float in liquid. The first case is our when W is greater than Fb dash, that is the weight of the body is greater than the weight of the displaced liquid. So means in this case this vertical downwards force is greater than the vertically upwards force. So in this case that the weight of the body is greater than the weight of the displaced liquid. So you see here that force W is acting downwards direction and Fv is acting upwards direction. So if in this case W is greater than the first case, if the W is greater than Fb dash, so what will be that? Because you see this, the W is a tendency to sink the body, and the upthrust and that bound force that had a tendency to make the body float. So in this case the body will sink. So you see how it will sink, and the apparent weight of the body, the weight of body inside liquid as measured by a spring balance, if it is attached with the body, will be W minus Fb dash, so acting vertically downwards direction. And this is the case when the density rho of solids is greater than the density rho L of liquid. So you see this in this case when the density of solids means here rho means that density of solids is greater than the density of liquid. So you see here in this case, you see that in this case the W is greater than Fb dash, and how that body is sinks when the W is greater than Fb dash. And now you see the second case when W equals to Fb dash, means the weight is equal of the body is equal to the weight of the displaced liquid. In this case the body will float just below the surface of liquid as shown in figure this. So you see here W and Fb dash both are equal, means W equals to FB dash. So in this case that body will be float just below the surface of the liquid. The apparent weight of the body will be 0. So in this case the apparent weight would be 0. The density, because that W equals to FB dash, so that's why whenever you find out the apparent weight, so W minus FB dash, so whenever you find out, then you will get W minus W, so the apparent weight will be 0. So the density rho of such a body is equal to the density rho L. So in this case you see that the density of rho equals to density of liquid. Now you see the case number 3, when that W is less than FB dash, that is the weight of the body is less than the weight of the liquid displaced by it when it is held completely immersed in the liquid. In this case the body floats partially above and partially below the surface of liquid as shown in figure. You see this figure, look at this, how that half of the body is top of the surface of the liquid and half it is below the surface of liquid, means it is partially up, floats partially up and partially below the surface of liquid. Only that much portion of the body gets submerged, by which the weight is displaced liquid becomes equal to the weight of the body. So in this situation, while floating, the weight W acts at the center of gravity G of the body, while upthrust FB acts at the center of buoyancy B, which is vertically below G. The weight W is equal to upthrust. So FB only due to the submerged part of the body. So buoyancy force actually that only the due to the submerged part, because how much part is submerged, so that of this we will get the upthrust, and that is equal to upthrust. Weight is equal to upthrust. Okay, so this apparent weight of the body will be 0 in this case also, because you see that it is partially float, because partially is force partially above and partially below the surface of liquid. And you see one thing here, the weight W is equal to the upthrust FB. So whenever you find out the apparent weight by using a spring balance, then you can see it will be 0 in this case also. The density rho of such a body is less than the density rho L of body. So rho is less than rho L. So you see here the first case, when the W is greater than, means the weight is greater than the buoyant force. So in that case that we will get the apparent weight W minus FB dash, and in that case that density of the solid is greater than the density of liquid. But whenever the weight is equal to the weight of the displaced water, so liquid displaced liquid, so in that case the rho equals to rho L, and apparent weight of the body will be 0. And the case number 3, that W is less than FB dash, so in that case the body of the weight of the body is less than the weight of the liquid displaced by it when it is held completely immersed in the liquid. So in that case that rho is less than rho L, and in that case also the apparent weight would be 0. From the above discussion, we find that for a floating body, so weight of body equals to the weight of liquid displaced by the submerged part of body. So W equals to FB, and apparent weight of the floating body equals to 0. So because the weight of the body equals to the weight of liquid displaced by the submerged part of the body, so it is actually, what is this? It is actually the upthrust force. So that's why the apparent weight of a floating body will be 0. But this is the principle of flotation. So according to the principle of flotation, the weight of a floating body is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by its submerged part. So this is the principle of the flotation. So when the body will float, so that is the principle would be that weight of a floating body is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by its submerged part. Now the relation between the volume of submerged part of a floating body, the densities of liquid and the body. So small v by capital V equals to rho S by rho L. So rho S here is that the density of solid or the body, and rho L is the density of liquid. So you see here the capital V be the volume of a body of density rho S, and let the bodies will be floating with this volume small v submerged inside a liquid of density rho L. Then the weight of the body equals to W equals to volume of the body into density of the body G, because these things already I have discussed here. So the weight of the liquid displaced by the body or upthrust equals to Fb is equal to volume of displaced liquid into density of liquid into G. So small v rho L into G. So as the condition of the flotation, W would equal to the Fb. So if that you write down this two expression, W equals to V into rho S into G, and in this side the bound force is small v rho L into G. So you the G will be cancelled out, because both side you that G is the acceleration due to gravity. So G will be cancelled out. So we will get small v by capital V is equal to rho S by rho L. So the volume of the submerged part of body by total volume of body equals to density of body divided by density of liquid. So you see this expression, this is very important. And whenever in this chapter, whenever you do the numericals problem, we can use multiple times this expression and find out that whatever question is asking. Okay, so because what is the condition of the flotation, that things is very important. So this you see that this part is very important. And what is the principle of the flotation? So in your exam is also this type of question is very important. What is the principle of flotation, and what is the relation between the volume of submerged part of a floating body and the density of liquid and body? And by using this formula we can solve numerical part of this chapter. So you see here a cork of density rho S is equal to 3/4 gram per centimeter cube, while floating in water will have its 3/4 part immersed inside water. To rho L equals to 1 gram per centimeter cube and 1/4 part outside the surface of water. So these are the examples how it if this asking about that any example, so you have to write this, but how many parts is above that surface of the liquid and how many parts is below the surface of the liquid, because you see here in that the floating in that when the body floats, so when the W is equals to the Fv dash, so that time only the body will float that just below the surface of the liquid. But when the W is less than Fv dash, so that time you can see that body is floats, but it is partially above and partially below the surface of liquid. Okay, so now you see the application of the principle of flotation. So here few application there. So in this part the reasoning question will come, means that the first example I am giving you, a iron nail sinks in water, but why a ship is floats in water. Okay, so this type of reasoning question is very important. So in this case also, if you know very clearly, if you have the knowledge about the flotation, that principle of flotation, then you can write down all those types of question, because all those question is based on the principle of flotation. So flotation of iron ship, you see here that if we place a iron nail on the surface of water, it will sink. Why? Because this is the density of iron. So we already I told you. So in class 8, whatever we are that floating, how when the body is float, when the body is sink, we can explain that things by using the density, that concept of density. So you see here there actually the one of the chart is given in that book. So what is the density of that material? So here we are taking the iron nail. So you think about that the density of iron is greater than that of the water. So whenever we are taking here water, so we have to check that what is the density of iron and what is the density of water. So you know that the density of iron is greater than that of water, so that the weight of nail is more than the upthrust of water on it. So on the other hand, ships are also made up of iron, but they do not sink. Why? This is because the ship is hollow and the empty space in it contains air, which makes its volume large and average density less than that of water. Okay, because that you know that ship is hollow and the empty space, the air is occupies this empty space, and that's why it makes its volume large and average density less than that of water. Therefore, even with a small portion of sieve submerged in water, the weight of water displaced by the submerged part of sieve becomes equal to the total weight of sieve, and therefore it floats. Okay. So now that you see that a loaded ship is submerged more while an unloaded ship is less submerged. So you know that the loaded ship is submerged more because when the cargo is loaded on a sailing ship, its weight increases. So when the weight is increases, so it sinks further to displace more water till the weight of water displaced by its submerged part becomes equal to the weight of loaded ship. If cargo is unloaded, the ship will raise in water. Will the weight of water displaced balances the weight of unloaded ship? So you see this, how that we can using that weight and that bound force and the density, how we can use those concepts, and we can solve any type of reasoning problem questions from this part of this chapter. So next question is our a ship begins to submerge more as it sail from sea water to river water. Because you think about here, actually you see that thing about the density. The sea water, what is the sea water? We can find out the salt in the sea water, right? But in river water we cannot salt. So whenever you put some salt in the water, what will be increasing? So the water of river is of low density than that of sea water, because the density of water of different seas is also different. Okay. Therefore, when a ship sails from a sea of water of higher density, because the salt is resolved in that water, and the higher density that's of a sea of water to lower density, or from sea water to river water, it sinks further. The reason is that according to the law of flotation, to balance the weight of ship, a greater volume of water is required to the displaced in water of lower density in river or sea. So now is the Plimsoll line. So these things already you learned from class 8. So Plimsoll line you can find out whenever the sea means that one of the marking is there. So that is a safety guard. Okay, so it means this is a safe limit. Because each ship has a white line painted on its side, so that is actually the Plimsoll line. That line indicates the safe limit for loading the ship in water of density 1000 kg per meter cube, because we know the density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. So if any ship is beyond that Plimsoll line, so what will be that they runs to sink. A ship is not allowed to the loaded further when its Plimsoll line starts touching the water level, so that when it sails in sea water of density more than 1000 kg per meter cube, only the part of it below the Plimsoll line remains submerged in water. But any ship, if they cross or beyond that Plimsoll line, so that actually the ship runs to sink. So an unloaded ship is filled with sand at its bottom. So an unloaded ship floats with its very small volume inside water. As a result, its center of gravity is higher and its equilibrium is unstable. So that's why it is a danger that it may get blown over on its side by strong wind. So you know that whenever the ship is unloaded, so that's mean actually that that have a small volume inside the water. So as a result, the center of gravity is higher, and but it have to be equilibrium, because if it's only the center of gravity is higher and its equilibrium is unstable, so what will happen? If the strong wind will blow, so that side that ship will go on. So there is a danger that it may get blown over on its side by strong winds. Therefore, an unloaded ship is filled with sand or stones called ballast at its bottom. So this lowers its center of gravity to make its equilibrium stable. Flotation of human body. So the average density of human body depends on the proportion of its constituents like bone, blood, muscles, fat in him. As each constituent has different density, further it also depends on the amount of air in his lungs. At that time, the average density of body with empty lungs is 1.07 gram per centimeter cube, while the lungs filled with air, so it will be 1 gram per cubic centimeter. A good swimmer can float on water like a floating object with his lungs filled with air and nose and mouth projecting just above the water surface, and the weight of water displaced by him is then nearly equal to its own weight, and thus he can swim with a very little effort or light effort. So it is easier for a man to swim in sea water than a fresh river water. So same things is that is actually that depends on that density, because when you see the density of sea water, that is actually the 1.026 gram per cubic centimeter, because in sea water there are so many things are present, like the presence of the minerals, salt, like that. But in fresh water, the river water, that is actually that the density is 1 gram per cubic centimeter, and whenever you compare the sea water and fresh water, you can find out the sea water is more denser than the river water. Therefore, with a smaller portion of the body submerged in sea water, the weight of water displaced becomes equal to the total weight of the body. While to displace the same weight of fresh and river water, large portion of the body will have to submerge in water. So that's why it is becomes difficult to swim in river water. So now I hope you understand what is the reason behind of that, that how it is easy to swim in sea water than in fresh or river water. So now you see that flotation of submarines. So you see the submarine is a fish-shaped water-tight boat provided with several ballast or flotation tanks in its front and near parts, and that portion of the submarine, to explain its flotation, it is provided with periscope, so that the driver could see above the water surface even when the submarine is well inside the water. So you see that these are the ballast tanks. So ballast tank, that is actually filled by stone or the sand. So these are the ballast tank to maintain that equilibrium stable. So means actually it helps to make its in stable position. So a submarine can be made to dive into the water and to rise up onto the surface of water as when they desire. If a submarine is to dive, its ballast tanks are filled with water, so that the average density of submarine, so that is the ballast stuff that is here actually is filled with water, and so that the average density of submarine becomes greater than the density of sea water, and the submarine dives into the water. So you think about that, when you put filled this ballast tank by using the normal water, okay, so you see that whenever what will happen, because the density of the sea water that is greater than the density of normal water. So what will happen, so as per the that whatever the diver, as per the diver's requirement, the submarine will go under the water, and whenever he wants, he will go up above the surface of the surface level of the water. So actually you see that submarine becomes greater than the density of sea water, and the submarine dives into the water. If submarine is to rise, water from the ballast tanks is forced out into the sea by allowing the compressed air to enter the tank. Okay, so they have a so they are actually that whenever he wants, as per his requirement, he just forced out into the whatever that water from the ballast tank is forced out into the sea by allowing the compressed air to enter the tank. So send the water into the tank and force out the water into the sea, and this makes the average density of submarine less than that of the sea water. and as a result the weight of water displaced by its partially small submerged part becomes equal to the weight of the submarine, hence it rises up to the surface of water. So whenever he wants to sink into the water, that time he is filled by water, and as per the density of seawater is greater than the density of normal water. So that's why actually the submarine will goes under the water, but when the submarine is to rise, the water from the ballast tanks is forced out into the sea by allowing the compressed air to enter the tank. Okay, so flotation of iceberg. So the density of ice is less than the density of water. The density of ice is 0.917 gram per cubic centimeter, and that of the water is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. So because this ice the density is less, so that's why therefore the huge masses of ice known as iceberg, and they are able to float on water with their major part inside the water surface and only the small portion above the water surface. Okay, so hope student you understood, and you see that how that by using that formula, the volume iceberg above the water surface while floating. So you see that this is the condition of the floating, and that example, one of the examples also is given here, and hope student you understood. Bye, take care, have a good day. And these parts, this few parts only just left, these parts I will discuss the next video. So up to this you please read, and that all in from this chapter, this numerical problem, you please practice it. In my next video I will discuss the remaining part. Okay, so hope student you understood. Thank you, bye, take care, have a good day.